What is a stroke?
Huh?
It is a new style of haircut.
No. Through a complex system of arteries, our brain gets a continuous supply of oxygen and nutrients with the help of blood. The cells of our brain alone use more than 20% of oxygen in our blood. Hence, if the blood doesn't reach the brain cells, they can begin to die, thus giving us a stroke. The most common stroke is ischemic stroke. Ischemic strokes occur when the arteries supplying blood to the brain get blocked.
Like the roads get blocked in a traffic jam, right?
Indeed. Due to bad lifestyle choices and stress, fats and cholesterol gradually start building up in the arteries and thus narrow them. If this buildup ruptures, a clot may form blocking the complete artery. As a result, the brain cells begin to die due to lack of oxygen and nutrients, thus giving us an ischemic stroke.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, the Jamaica Stroke Alliance, in association with the Association of Consultant Physicians of Jamaica, will be celebrating World Stroke Day, which is officially today. They'll be hosting a virtual symposium this Sunday, November 10, under the theme Team Jamaica, Stronger Than Stroke. The aim is to bring awareness to the public on NCD. So here to tell us more are JSA board member Jonathan Burke and medical chairman of the Jamaica Stroke Alliance, Dr. Kimikawa Morgan Channel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Dr. Kimi, as well. Thanks so much for you both, for joining us. Jonathan, let me come straight to you. Let's talk a bit about the Stroke Alliance. What is the Jamaica Stroke Alliance, and why is this even a thing?
Well, we found out I am a stroke survivor, and I was contacted by Hilary Webby, who also suffered a stroke, and she realized that because strokes are so prevalent in our society, at the time in 2018, we found this data that said that Jamaica suffered maybe 10,000 people suffered strokes a year.
Oh, wow.
A third of them died.
Yeah.
The other third couldn't recover sufficiently to go back to work, and the rest were functionally able to go back to work. So it's a huge issue that we believe people really didn't know much about.
Right.
And what Hilary was saying was that for her to get back to a functional level took so much effort, so much time, and she was going from one place to the other. And she said, how did the average person? She was lucky. She was able to get all the help she needed.
Right, right.
And it's still a challenge, no matter how much help you get. So she got a group together, Dr. Kimi and other board members. And what we're trying to do is raise the awareness. And I think Dr. Kimi will speak about why this symposium is so important, because we need the protocols so that no matter who has a stroke, no matter where they are and which health center they go to or which hospital, the treatment they get is the same. We have like an SOP for stroke. Because when people have a heart attack and you go to a hospital, you know exactly what protocols to do, what should be done at which time, etc. But with stroke, some people, I know one cousin of mine had a stroke, and he went to a hospital. I won't say which. And they said, can you swallow? And he said yes. So they sent him back home, and he died.
Oh, my word.
Not that he died because he could swallow or couldn't swallow, but if they had done other tests, perhaps, you know, the result would be different.
Let me ask you, Dr. Kimi, like how we have you on, Jonathan mentioned how prevalent this is and how many people suffer. Why is it, do you think, that Jamaicans especially, there's such a high incidence of stroke locally?
Right. So from the Jamaica Health Study, 57%, more than half of Jamaica has high blood pressure. And are they taking their medications is another study to be done. But anecdotally, we're seeing far too many people coming to the hospital with uncontrolled blood pressure, not taking their meds, not having meds. And so controlling the risk factors of stroke is a key part of breaking the stroke cycle that we're in here in Jamaica.
Dr. Kimmy, I'm staying with you. There's an acronym now about F.A.S.T, the things that we need to look out for or how we respond. Walk us through what the F.A.S.T stands for.
Right. So we want people to understand there are therapies available for stroke. And way to get it is to understand when a stroke happened.
Right.
How do I spot a stroke? Be fast. B for balance. If you have a sudden loss of balance, dizziness, then you need to go to the hospital. If E is for eye, if you have loss of vision in the eyes or one eye, straight to the hospital. If you have facial weakness, then you may have a side, or when you look at the person, you say smile, they have a crooked smile. That is a sign that they may have a stroke, and then they go straight to the hospital. And then A, arms. There is a sudden loss of power, or there's weakness in one arm or one leg. The arm, and it just means the limbs. Something's wrong with my limbs. I can't walk. I can't do things with my hands. That may be a sign that I have a stroke and I need to go straight to hospital. And then S, slurred speech. I have some speech difficulty. You ask the person, the sky is blue. Repeat after me. The sky is blue. They can't get the words out. Nothing comes out at all. Then that is a sign that they may have a stroke and they have to go to hospital. And T, time. We lose 1.9 brain cells, 1.9 million brain cells every minute after stroke. So stroke means time is brain. We are losing brain, and therefore we can't stay at home and sleep it off. Can't say somebody obey me. Can't say just go straight to hospital so you can start your stroke therapy.
May I just ask, because this is from personal experience here. I remember being an 11-year-old home alone with my mother who was having a stroke. And while I hear you about getting to the hospital, my question is there anything anyone can do in the immediate moment? Like you know how we hear if you're having a heart attack or symptoms of a heart attack, pop an aspirin. Is there anything we can do at home in the interest of trying to...
While waiting for the taxi, for example, to get to the hospital? Right.
Right. So we don't want people giving any medications by mouth.
Okay.
Because as Johnson mentioned before, we have to assess swallowing, because if you can't swallow, you can choke and die.
Okay.
And so it's important. We give nothing by mouth. We do nothing but get in whatever transportation possible.
Got you.
Straight to the hospital for immediate medical attention.
Got you.
A part of the stroke here is imaging of the brain, because if you have a bleed in the brain, your stroke is what we call a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleed in the brain. You shouldn't give aspirin, because aspirin is a blood thinner. It will make them bleed more.
Right, right.
So, Jonathan, this symposium then sounds like it is going to give some vital information for a population that needs it based on the prevalence of stroke. Tell us, first of all, where is it? Give us the event details. Where is it? What time is it?
Dr. Kimmy is best to
answer Dr. Kimmy is the best person to ask on that. Okay, so Dr. Kimmy, where is it? When is it? What can we expect at this symposium?
Right. We at Jamaica Stroke Alliance are keen on getting our health professionals stroke ready. And that means we want easy accessibility across the island, and nothing like the internet and virtual space allows that. So we'll have our virtual symposium. You can go to the JamaicaStrokeAlliance.org to register and sign up. And when you do that, the program is going to be a full day from stroke experts, not only internationally, but local stroke experts along the stroke care pathway. Not only will we have neurologists and physiotherapists, but we'll have our integral nursing team part of the whole academic panel that will be presenting on that day. So it's a really important part of stroke awareness for health professionals. And it would be beneficial for, even if you're not a health professional, come see what therapies we have available to treat stroke and what we're doing for stroke in Jamaica.
And does it come at a cost, Dr. Kimmy?
Yes, the cost is there on the
Okay.
flyer. You go straight to the website, you will see even more information.
Awesome.
Jonathan, I just have to
2000,
ask you, last word, as someone who's had this experience, as someone who sees the work happening, what's your final word on how we approach persons who have had strokes and how we approach our lifestyle in trying to prevent strokes?
Okay. Reading up a bit before I came on, I was reminded that one of the biggest causes for stroke is diabetes.
Yeah.
And lots of people in Jamaica have diabetes and or pretend that they can fix it on their own, etc. So, but once you have a stroke, I was lucky to go to Cuba for rehab, and I spent 6 weeks there, which got me back walking again and gave me the confidence. And one of the things the psychiatrist told me at the time was, beware, you're going to get depressed because a part of you has died, so you're going to go through a grieving process. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I did get depressed. And I think what we take for granted as survivors is the carers and the toll it takes for the carers, because even though they will say to us, oh, you're not a burden, we become a burden. And sometimes, I remember I had a nurse, and she had to bathe me. And this is the first time I'm getting in a bath. Usually I'd have a shower, but at this time I wanted to have a bath with Epsom salts or something, because you have lots of cramp after a stroke. And I was convinced she was going to drop me. And I remember losing my temper and telling her, leave me alone. And she was such a great nurse. But because I lost it, I hurt her. And I don't think she ever forgave me for that outburst.
Shame.
But that's how fragile it is, the relationships you build and you have to maintain. And it's a bit of a challenge. But it's a journey. And they say nothing is accidental.
Right.
And people like my kids would ask me, Papi, why did this happen to you? And I said to them that God loves me, because you learn so much. And you learn about your friends, and those who you thought were your friends, and those who you didn't know you were important to, yet they would come and look for you. And it's an amazing journey. And I suppose if I was to be asked, would I have it again? I would go through it again, because you learn so much.
Wow.
And it gives you a chance to press the reset button on your life and re-choose your priorities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's, although I wouldn't want it for anybody,
Right.
because being helpless is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
But you know, you're not being helpless. You're helping a ton of people by being a part of this organization and sharing information that can help and benefit others. So we thank you for that. I
Yeah.
Well,
appreciate
thanks for
you.
having us.
Our very special guests were Jonathan Burke, JSA board member, and Dr. Kimmy Morgan Channel, medical chairman of the Jamaica Stroke Alliance. We'll now go for a short break, and TK will be here on the flip side for your morning news. Stay with us.